So I'll just keep on talking. I never know when it's going to start.
That's right. It's all good, man.
What's up?
We're nothing. How you doing, man?
We're still asymptomatic.
Yeah. Everything's still good on that front, man.
What's up, man? I'm Jared, y'all.
I am Josh. It is good to be here, brother. Thank you, man.
So weekly sit and talk to my phone because it keeps me from going crazy.
Going nuts. Nutsified.
That's what's up, man. This week started crazy enough with last Monday. This news came down where it started with Kyle Larson, a NASCAR driver. If you don't know, I thought this had happened on the live stream of the NASCAR race. Because there's no actual races going on now. It's just them sitting watching a video game. And yes, I can't deny that I haven't watched some of it just because I have to. It's like maybe I can get into this. No, I can't.
I watched Trey Young play that 2K tournament, man. He beat the crap. He beat the snot out of everybody in that thing, man. It was nuts.
But I thought this had went down on the live stream of the actual race, but apparently it wasn't. It was on like a Twitch feed where he's on there and somehow or another he's trying to get connected to his crew, and he ends up just having this tirade dropping M-bombs.
Oh, and you're like, goodness.
There ain't no sense for it. It's just stupid. But at the same time, I was like, well, will anything come of this? And then Monday rolls around and sponsors are backed out. I was like, oh, Jesus, you know what's next? And sure enough, he was gone. And turns out that was just a tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the old iceberg.
Of the firings going on this week. And it's one of those deals where it's like been gone over to death. But it's, it's still, it sucks regardless. I think the timing of it was just kind of crazy. But a whole bunch of WWE guys were let go Wednesday. So what's up with that?
Yeah, it's very true that the only real issue is the timing. I've already told you my conspiracy theory about it, but I'll keep that between us because I don't need to waste the show's time with that stuff. But as far as it's kind of what we were saying when we first got on the call talking to each other, man. There is nobody in that crew that I'm not glad is gone because you know me, I want all of them to go somewhere else. I want everybody in WWE out of WWE as quick as possible because I just despise that company. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not NXT, I got no interest. And then even with NXT, like letting go of Leo Rush, I mean, I get it because they hate him, but yeah, hey man, Leo's gonna be fine. That's cool. I think everybody is gonna be better off. I like the speculation game, and like you said, it's been gone over to death, but it's still fun. Yeah. And I'm interested to see if EC3 and Spud go back to Impact. I don't know if they will or not. They probably should, and it's all good either way, man. On the subject of Impact, though, man, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people speculating whether or not this will be the end of AEW, but no one is questioning how Impact's going to be okay. You think Impact's going to make it, but not AEW? That's the part that I don't quite see how people can see that. I don't get that.
This long after the virus is over, the bombs are dropped, and the cockroaches have crawled out, there will still be Twinkies, cockroaches, and Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling for real, man. We're never going anywhere, man. Did cockroaches, Twinkies, and Dixie Carter.
Forever.
And Dixie Carter would cut the Terry Funk Forever promo.
Man, with all the names that were on that list, and they're just way too many to get into, I think one of the things that struck me, if there were any names on the list, was kind of like, what's going on here? It was Luke and Carl. I thought that for about 2 seconds. Then I realized, like, man, if you're telling me uh, I already told you I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. You already having us work in these conditions that just aren't that safe. Let me go. You know, and I think that's probably the conversation that went down. But I think as far as you talking about the time, and just it's for those two guys, that's the only two guys on that list that were remotely. And I'm not saying they were getting used well, but I think just being hooked with AJ was going to have them in a good spot.
Yeah,
and it's like, to me, that's the guys that were on that list. That's the two that stuck out to me. It's like saying, anybody want to leave? Raise your hand. Like, it's like quick with it, and it makes plenty of sense for them to be gone because they've got other places they can go and go work for a company that's not going to have me go almost get murdered biannually, and work under the type of conditions they've been having to work under. It's like, man, just forget this. The other names on the list, I'm like, first of all, why was Kurt Angle even under a contract? From what I understand, I guess he was doing more like back behind the scenes type stuff, but the joke about the colognes for the past 4 years have been anytime they show up on TV, like they're still here.
Yeah,
and now that their names are finally on the list. So it's kind of like, and I think Zack Ryder and Brian Myers have broken that cardinal sin again of getting more over outside of the company than you are in. And that's just not good. You can't do that. Can't have that.
Zack Ryder's made an entire career of that. He's done it twice now, and it's like, nope, it's got to be our thing. And it's more of the same. Like him, especially Ryder and Rusev. Them talking about Rusev and Aiden English being released and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, those guys are really good examples of why it's so rich whenever you get all the video footage of Vince like, well, the people tell us who's over. It's the WWE universe that makes a star. Yeah, because you sold $1 million worth of Rusev Days T-shirts and did nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't do nothing. All I can figure there is that USA must have either gotten rid of the contract for Total Divas or whatever it is, because it's like Lana's the only reason he's even been around.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't want to put him on that show anymore, okay. But I love it. I love the idea of Rusev going anywhere else and getting some good work. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Carl and Doc, to back up your point about them maybe making the request, man, Carl Anderson had that pretty spelty little video ready to go. And it was like, okay. So it just reminded me of because that was the Dean Ambrose thing. Well, who could have funded this for Dean Ambrose? The production value's so good. And it's like, you should jump out early enough and find people. But I would love it. I would love it if Anderson and Gallows, it really doesn't matter. Wherever they go is cool with me. I think New Japan makes them, as long as Carl is cool with going back to Japan. Not that I don't think he would be. It's just he's got kids. But as long as he's cool with that, I know that New Japan will, they will pull down the moon to get him back, because then you will have 2/3 of the original Bullet Club back in the fold. You will have Carl and you will have Tama Tonga, and it's like, man, you can run on that junk for a while. That's cool.
As tough as that trip and working for them, I imagine is and would be on a family. Just the being able to, I can live with taking that risk as opposed to going to Saudi Arabia and just doing all this other stuff that he's been having to do. Like, man, it's worth it.
I think the Saudi Crown Prince basically being a silent partner in your company, I think that's definitely something to consider, man, because whether Vince wants to admit it or not, Fox and Prince Ben Salman, I think is his name. That's who's running WWE now. Whether Vince wants to admit it or not, that's who runs the company.
Yeah.
Even with just all the, we have to do it live because what if Fox undoes the deal? What if NBC undoes the deal? And this is stupid, but I brought it up, so I will veer off into this. My favorite part about this is I have not heard word one from Fox or NBC Universal on that front at all. The reason Vince jumped to that conclusion is because there's no telling how many hours he had his lawyers digging through every contract in the company, finding a way, how do I not pay this guy? How do I not pay that guy? How do I get out of this? How do I undo that? That's the way he thinks. So you say, oh, but they're going to try and do it to me. Of course you think that, because you would do it yourself. He's such a prick. He is such a prick and always has been. And here's just another good example of it. But he's a businessman in Jim Cornette's vernacular. He's a businessman. He'll cut your heart right out. That's one thing that I'm so sick of. I am tired of businessman being a catch-all. You get to be as big of a piece of shit as you want to be. It's just business. Okay, well, when somebody comes and cuts your knees off and breaks your family financially, you remember that. Because it's going to happen eventually. I know you think you're untouchable. You'll get got. Everyone gets got in the end. Anyway, I'm obviously ill about it just because it's just such a prickish way to go about it. Because the whole point is sign everybody, don't do anything with them, and then, you know what? You're an independent contractor, so I know I signed you to a 5-year deal, but technically that only means that you can't do anything for 5 years. I can undo the deal anytime I want to. That's the way Vince rolls, and unfortunately, it's the way
Tony Khan said it'd be a great idea.
It's the way Tony Khan rolls too. It's why I get so mad at that company, because they had an opportunity to change that stuff. Well, it's not good for business. Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, that was when I started hearing those rumors about the Fox deal and how, like, you know, we're only allowed so many tape shows a year. It's like, yeah, that sounds like something you would do to somebody.
Exactly. And that's the whole point. We talked about it when they started doing the Fox deal. Is like, I know that Vince is used to basically having this entire pond to himself. He ain't going to outlaw your Fox. He's not going to outlaw your NBC Universal. So just be careful. And you're not going to outlaw those guys, and you're not going to go to Saudi Arabia and out-cred the royal family. Yeah. Have fun with that. Have fun, because you are definitely, everybody you're looking at now, you're looking up to, whether you like it or not, man, and he's not used to that.
And I just don't know that I buy all this BS of supposedly he got on some shareholder call and is talking about all the money they have on reserve. Like, well, what are you doing with it? Not a thing.
Yeah, seriously. It's just that feeds into the conspiracy a bit. But yeah, it's just like, that's what I kept hearing too, is that the stock price is so god awful right now, and has been for a hot minute. That was the whole reason he fired no, Vince, you should give WrestleMania away as part of the network deal. And I understand why that makes you mad. What I don't understand is why you ever agreed to it in the first place. You needed to do the WWE network for, 5-6 years now, right? You needed to give away WrestleMania as part of that package for half a decade before you realized, no, I was right. We should have been charging extra for this. You're a moron. If you got talked into that junk, you're an idiot. And I don't think he's an idiot. It's like we talked about with the Goldberg thing. If you're telling me he gave Goldberg that much control with 2 matches left on his contract, you're telling me the guy's a fool. And I don't think he's that. There's a lot of things I believe about Vince McMahon, but him being dumb ain't one of them. Yeah. Come on.
That's one of the, going back to the CM Punk interview, that's one of the things he brought. It's like, how in the world is this going to be feasible and sustainable? And maybe in the short term, but long term, it's like, what in the world?
Yeah, seriously, man.
How is this going to work? And it's not.
Absolutely not. Nah, man. $9.99 a month or $14.99 a month or whatever the heck you want to charge per month, that's okay. But if you want to cut people a deal on the big four, that makes sense. But giving them away for nothing does not. Yeah. Because primarily, again, it ultimately goes back to, and I bring this up all the time, and I say it way too often, but it really is what I believe. When it comes to in-home streaming, there is Netflix, there is a galaxy, and then there's whoever the hell's second. And if you can't do it the way they do it, you can't do it. Simple as that. And I mean, WWE's got so much content, but it ain't got Netflix content, and that's the point. That's the point, man. And it's a bummer. But now we're getting away. We're going to undo the network, and I don't think you'll undo it. I just think that they'll go back to charging people for pay-per-views, which is cool. Because again, man, just cut people a deal. Give them like, yeah, man, $9.99 a month or however much it's going to be. Do like $100 for a year, and then your pay-per-views cost you $40 instead of $80 or whatever the heck they cost now. Yeah, that'll work.
And going into Mania, nobody knew what they were going to do. As far as it's going to be over 2 nights. Do we pay one fee for both nights, or pay each night, or pick which night I want to watch? And they still didn't know what they were going to do, even going into it. It's like, oh, we don't know.
That's the strange thing again, like you're saying, man. With like I've mentioned the Netflix thing, but Wrestle Kingdom had already done it. Fight
Mm-hmm.
TV showed you how to do it, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
Vince is going to do it. Just because the
Yeah.
example is out there and it worked, I said, I'm going to do my own thing because he might. Maybe he'd do exactly that because I think
Mm-hmm.
Wrestle Kingdom, as far as I know, was this cost, or you can have them both for this. And there's no reason why anybody wouldn't do both, but still,
Yeah.
just in case, I guess if you missed night one and you just wanted to watch two or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, just because there's an example doesn't mean he's going to do it. So you're right, I had to wait and see.
Heck yeah. Man, it's just, I was convinced and sure that there was going to be more coming, and there probably still will. This stuff came out on like Wednesday, then that was like, going into SmackDown, because it seemed like a lot of the guys on the list were Raw guys, and then you had a few NXT people gone, and I think with SmackDown coming up Saturday morning, everybody's kind of like watching the computer, like, oh, let's see what's it's going to do,
Yeah.
and it's still very well may happen, but never like to see it happen to anybody that wasn't expecting it, but I just think there's a lot of people on that list kind of like, thank Christ.
Yeah, man. It's all kinds of interesting wrestling stuff. Something just occurred to me as far as Fox and whatnot. And one of my favorite stories right now is Vince is mad at Roman Reigns. And I like it because it's one of two things. It's either a complete work and we're just trying to do the real life version of Stone Cold, which is what they were trying to do with Ronda Rousey, like we talked about. I'm very happy that you and I got a week out on the, y'all, it's a work. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's caught up on that now. But she used the word fake. Yeah, dude, it's a different day. It's a new day. That's how you get everybody mad. It's always been the way to get people mad. That's how you get them mad. And boy, it got corny mad, didn't it? It's just like, corny, you're taking the bait, man. Come on. But anyway, the Roman Reigns thing, I think, is interesting. Which version do you want? That it's a work or that it's a shoot? Because I got a good version either way.
I mean, it sounds like a work to me.
Yeah, work version is we just want to do Stone Cold again. Oh, man, but Vince McMahon's mad at Roman. It was his golden boy. Now he doesn't like him. And if it works, great. Okay, whatever. Now let's do the shoot version. I believe the shoot version is, well, he didn't show up to WrestleMania, so he's in trouble. The shoot version is that he's cousins of that huge action movie star. And Roman's been in movies now, too.
It's already been in one of them, yeah.
Roman's also your current John Cena. Roman's also a member of SAG-AFTRA. That's what Vince is mad at. If Vince is genuinely mad at him about anything, it's that his new golden boy, Hogan, Cena, oh man, these are the guys. He knows he's on the precipice of having to unionize wrestling, and it won't matter now anyway because capitalism just died. We talked about that. It's been dead for a hot minute, but it got its toe tagged. I don't know, probably right before the COVID outbreak. Basically, OPEC officially put the tag on anyhow.
Yeah.
But your top guy now all of a sudden isn't going to be buddy with you as long as his deal is number one and might actually side with the boys. Oh, what a mistake picking that guy. And again, I'm totally with you. I think all of it's a work anyway. But man, if you introduce that element of it, that's cool. That's just believable enough. Like, who in the world would come up with that for an entertainment story? It's just believable enough to where the internet would melt down the way I just did. Everybody don't believe it.
Heck yeah. But man, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Let's roll with it.
It's cool. Seriously. Whatever they want to do is cool, man. I think Strowman Fiend is awful. I haven't seen anything except that that's the direction they want to go in. It's like, okay. Man, I don't know what else is going on. I'm sorry to say, because I haven't really watched it. I keep up with NXT. I haven't seen. The AEW reverse Lou Gehrig streak is still going. I haven't watched it, and I'm keeping my ear to the ground because, like we said, there's certain things and certain people when they show up, I'll be all about AEW. But that's not today. I just ain't there yet.
That's I think of the people that were let go this week. I mean, I think probably top of the list would be Zack Ryder to show up there just because his connections with Cody.
I think Zach either goes there because of that or winds up back in WWE because he's a mark, in a good way. But he's such a mark for the company because as somebody said, well, they've done this before. They release people and they come back, and I'm like, I think there's a lot of hurt feelings here. I think a lot of people would say "F you" because there is competition, but Zach might not be one of them. But yeah, one way or the other.
I think him and if it were me picking, it would probably be Heath Slater. Would be one of the guys to go after, and I think with going after Zach, you would almost have to do Brian as well. That they may not. He may just say, I've got my podcast. We're doing live shows. I've got my own school. I'll just do this again.
I got my action figure, baby. That's all I was in it for.
One of the things that I thought of, I didn't think of it. Just kind of occurred to me with because I'm a big Mattel WWE figure person. Speaking of those, and the other news that came out this week was they officially canceled San Diego Comic-Con. One of the figures that got announced around WrestleMania time with the big Mattel reveals was a ringside exclusive Edge with the two Edge heads that come with it, the Zach and Kurt that you'll get. I think that was going to be the San Diego exclusive.
Yeah, it sounds like it could have been.
So, with San Diego being canceled, I know there's a lot of companies that's what they go there to do is to sell their exclusive stuff. So I'm like, what's going to happen to those? How are we going to get those? Because they're still going to, it's not they have to be being produced now. If and as far as the whole San Diego convention not being postponed, just being canceled, I think the city and the convention were having a Vince and Tampa feud like, well, you're going to cancel it? Are you going to cancel it? Well, if we cancel it, then we can't do our thing, kind of back and forth. And so anyway, I think that's probably what was going to happen was that was going to be the San Diego exclusive, and they just got that word with enough foresight to be like, no, it's going to be ringside all along. Promise.
Hey, no, guys, we had those stickers on there forever.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. That reminds me, man. I meant to order my Kenny Omega AEW. That thing is sweet looking, man. The AEWs remind me of not in the style, because obviously the style they're going for is Mattel. But they make me think of the Figures Toy Company in that they are 50-50. I think they're either bang on slamming or eh. And for the first series, Kenny's the only one I got to have. I think that one is awesome. So I'm very excited about that. I'm trying to make plans because Hangman Page is not great, but it's cool because you can put the little, it's Nikki Cross style, because the Nikki Cross figure doesn't look anything like her, but it's awesome because you can cover her face up and it's like, oh my God, this is great. Yeah. So I'm contemplating. I'm basically going to let fate decide. If they make little plastic tag belts, then I'll get them and I'll give Kenny and Hangman the belts. Other than that, but Kenny would be good by himself too. So, and it's neat because we've talked about it, man. It's taken forever to get a Kenny Omega figure worth a darn, man. Because I think that the Micro Brawler, and that's it. That's the only one I've ever seen that I thought was good, because it's like the Figures Toy one doesn't look anything like him. The pop vinyl was okay, but not great. About the only pop vinyl I really liked was the Laker colored Young Bucks. Those were cool because they look like pop vinyl. So it's like we talked about, man. Anybody whose character fits that style, it works. Yeah. Anyway, I got way sidetracked. Sorry.
That's of the AEW stuff that's coming out. I'll probably have to do Jericho, and then with any of them, I think for me, I haven't felt the need to pre-order any of them. I'm just one of those people like, if I find it in a store, I'll get it.
That's my thing with Kenny. Kenny, I'm going to pre-order because I want him that bad. Everybody else, it depends on if I find it in the store or not. Because my only other one that I really would like to have is Pentagon. because that Pentagon is awesome, but I don't have to pre-order that one. That's the only reason I'm contemplating it with Kenny is like, yeah, because if you don't pre-order it, you would. It's like you're saying, if I'm willing to eBay him after the fact, I will go ahead and pre-order it, and he's the only one. I'm totally with you, man.
That's kind of when I saw the figures they have coming out, I was like, man, that's really going to hurt. That there's this company called Boss Fight that was doing a Pentagon and Ray, and I was like, man, that's really going to hurt them. That sucks. Oh well.
The Pentagon and Ray that Boss Fight put out are so awesome that, man, if you're a fan, just go ahead and get them all. It will behoove you to get them all. The Pentagon's got that ripped mask, and that thing is awesome. I'm like, oh crap! But I'm with you. I'm gonna wait and see if I can find the AEW one in the store, and then I'll be okay. Let me ask you about missed opportunities, though.
What's that?
When they're doing the AEW ring and you do it to scale, just like Mattel, and all that stuff makes total sense. How in the world do you not make the exclusive figure that comes with the ring, Aubrey? How in the world do you not do that? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, that's it. That's what you get done, man. Is you put Aubrey in a box and I would buy one. But especially if you want to sell rings, I'm like, oh man, that just bummed me out.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, man, dude, that'd have been awesome, man.
Yeah. But I mean, that's probably what you're saying. There's probably enough people willing to buy her. Like, man, but you know, at the same time, like, we want to sell rings too. So that's what they did with the Elite Goldberg. It's the first one. Like, you got to buy the ring to get it. Like, I ain't buying that ring.
Seriously, Goldberg? Okay.
Yeah. Piss on that.
If you want to sell rings in WWE, basically take your Fiend figure off the market and stick him in there. You'll sell anything you put that guy in there with.
Man, that's one let's talk about pre-orders. I considered, but I hadn't even priced it. The pre-order will probably be $40 on that one. So,
I can dig it, man.
I don't like my odds of finding that in the store, so I might have to do that.
I'm the same way. That's my thing with as far as WWE stuff. That's the one guy that I'm thinking the same thing on, because like everybody else, I've had pretty good luck too, man. Between the man hooking me up and then just going down to the local Walmart. I don't think I've ever pre-ordered a WWE figure, man, just because I've been lucky. I've just gotten real lucky with the stuff that I wanted.
Yeah. Excuse
me. But I like Frankenstein by Nakamura and got him took care of. And then Joe, thank you, my man. Cool. I've got Doc and Carl and AJ behind me here. And the Carl Anderson, sorry, Doc Gallows is the only one that I think I got him off Amazon. Because, you know, Amazon, when you buy figures on Amazon, it's 50-50. Sometimes they're insane. Sometimes they're okay. And that one was okay. But I'm like, all right, this is cool.
That's cool. Man, that's a lot of what I've been doing is like going back and getting old figures and stuff. I've like been huge into NECA and stuff like that these days. So I'm getting kind of crazy with that. So,
man, it comes in waves like that. I do the same thing, man. It's like, oh, I'm on this now, man. So I got to do that. Yeah, I totally get that. Heck yeah.
I just realized how much stuff of theirs that I missed out on. I had to go back and get. And I'm like, oh crap. eBay prices will turn heel on you quick.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding, especially when it comes to wrestling. Good God almighty, man. Freaking Hasbros are off the chain. It's insane. Like, basic stuff is expensive now. It's just like, nah, I didn't need Ludwig Borga anyway. Which I really don't, because I'm not trying to do that set. That set, once you see Yokozuna, really either one now, but especially White Yokozuna, Ludwig Borga, Smoking Guns, man, that'll tell you real quick if you want the whole set or not.
Yeah, man, it's like, those guys like that at one time, that's what makes me so mad is like, at one time I had the set and sold them off piece by piece, and what you can get for them now, like, man, I should have waited. Should have waited.
Oh, it is insane what they're going for. You're right, man.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, whether it's LJN, whether it's Hasbro, it's like when you get the whole set together, it's kind of like, I don't need all of these. You know, it's people that you had never even remotely cared anything about. Like, I just don't need a whole set. I can't justify having a nails.
I'm the same way with baseball cards, man. I finally, after years, I got the 1989 top set was my favorite one from when we were kids. I loved it. So eventually I got the set, I got the traded set, I got it all like fleshed out because I don't put them in numerical order. I know that's ridiculous, but I just break them down by team because the pages look cooler that way. Yeah. So I've got the AL binder and the NL binder because in '89, God, the set was 900 cards. And man, every time I go through it, it's like, just give me the A's, man. So that's where the World Series thing came from. It's like, just pick one team and do this. And then that's my Hawks collection now, man. It's just this year. I've basically been collecting Hawks team sets for the John Collins era because it started, I think it was 3 years ago, it was his rookie season. And I'm like, okay, we'll just get them when they come out now. And it's a lot better. I like it because just having the whole thing is just overwhelming.
I've gotten aware when it comes to cards, the only sets I do buy are the Topps WWE stuff because at least with those sets, most of the people want it I want. I don't buy hobby boxes of baseball or anything else because I'm going to get a bunch of stuff that I don't plain want.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the WWE sets, the ones that I like the most were Heritage because you didn't get a bunch of inserts of this on this night on Raw this happened and all this other stuff that I'm like, man, I'm just not into that.
I don't need that, seriously, man.
So that's what's been going through my mind because there's a lot of sets coming out and I'm kind of like, do I want to get a hobby box of that? Because I'm just not into buying the hobby boxes either. Because like, man, it's just so much easier just to pick the cards I want and just buy those.
Just get the ones you want. I can dig it, man. That's what I try and do with the Hawks is just either wait till they put them in the little pack where you just buy the team or wait till someone does a set break and I'm like, all right, cool, man. Just like you said, if you're not shopping for inserts or autographs or things like that, man, you can exist very, very lean in the card buying world.
Oh man, it's the way to do it.
Yeah,
it's
man.
The way to do it. But man, I've got a few things that coming out. I'm like, I need that one. As far as the top stuff on the horizon, they're supposed to be doing that because there is no more WWE Heritage. They are bringing back Chrome, which Chrome was my jam. But when I saw the pictures of the set, I was like, it might be my jam this year.
The Chrome stuff is tricky to me in that I didn't think I liked them. It's like, Chrome, I hate these, and that's no good. Mm-hmm. And then I realized why I didn't like them, and it's because by the time you put them in a penny sleeve and then under plastic, they're all dull. But man, if you get them like graded or put them in pages, they look awesome. So I'm like, It took me a long time to realize why people were into them. And then when I finally did, I'm like, now I get it. Now, especially like we're saying, if you get them graded, they look awesome.
Yeah. They
look really good that way. So it's like, oh man, so if you find one that you dig, go right ahead.
Heck yeah. Man, I guess my other thing that I watched this week was I'm all about my Dark Side of the Ring show.
Oh yes. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Sorry. It just occurred to me my alarm is going to go off, so I don't want it going off in the background, so I'm going to turn this off right now, and then we will talk about Jimmy Snuka and his Carol Baskin-like ways.
Heck yeah. But man, that was my deal with that show was last year when they ended the season and you kind of got brainstorming and thinking, like, what could they do? That was one of the top of the list stories. Was like, oh man, I wonder if they're going to do the Snuka going Ted Kennedy on that ass story. And sure enough, they did. And it's like one of those kind of things like, be careful what you wish for kind of shows. Because, man, I just don't get the reviews that I've heard. People were talking about all the twists and turns of the story. I'm like, to me, it's pretty cut and dry. The exact specifics of what happens, like, you could argue about, but either through roid rage or negligence, he caused this lady to die. And it's kind of like, what else are we arguing about? Where's the mystery in this one? And then you sat down and you watched. I watched the show, and you get a lot of the Argentino sisters, and I got to tell you, they are just a ray of sunshine. and I get, why they would have problems with him because because of him, their sister's gone. But we I don't, it's not that we would ever hang anyway, but it's just like the Jersey Shore characters come to life. Like, oh man, I cannot hang out with this crowd.
I can dig it, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It was okay. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
I told you earlier, my favorite part of it is right on time after Corny calls up Kevin Sullivan and is like, hey man, let's come and put Nancy's sister down because she's not in the business, because that's pretty much what that episode of the podcast was.
Yeah.
It seems to be like maybe somebody on the production panel of Dark Side of the Ring is like, Jim, you can sit next season out, because now all of a sudden, oh, this one wasn't any good. They didn't really say anything new, and it's kind of like you're talking about. Ain't no mystery in this one, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing this one because it's based off of a guy who was really popular in WWE. That's it. Yeah. That's all there is to it, man. Same thing with Dino Bravo. Oh, Dino used to get a check from WWE. Let's do that story. It's like, got involved with the gang and they got involved with the mafia and they killed him. That's not a mystery.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, seriously.
I guess one of the, I guess to give the Cornette podcast some credit, that's where I first heard about this story. I'd never heard it before. And, once you hear the guy that he sits down and interviews, it's kind of like, I kind of, some of the visuals, in my head were kind of what was on their show, and it's kind of like, it's pretty much long and short of it. But the timing of when all that went down was, I think, what kind of was the big surprise to me. Is like, man, this is like still several years before Mania 1, and when you look at, Snuka was basically in the main event of WrestleMania 1, but in the main event, but not. So you're like, how did that situation play any into that, or what happened? But it's just one of those kind of episodes where it's like, it's kind of what definitely was like. What I just be careful what you ask for, because we got it, and like I just did not get the mystery side of it that some people did. I was like, I just don't see why this is
what we're arguing over.
Yeah,
man.
And just I don't know. That's pretty much that was my take on it.
Yeah, man. I'm in the middle of it. I was just looking it up, and somebody put it on YouTube, and I started it. I haven't finished it yet, but it's all good. I think that it's a good show. I like the show, period. They're definitely all good, but it's just like, I don't know, man. Again, I don't mean to like blast Corny and Brian, but I did think that the timing was real funny, that all of a sudden now, this is the first episode that I really wasn't turned on by. And I'm like, I bet it's not the last one that you feel that way about.
Yeah. But speaking of cool podcast and coming back, I always loved Kevin Sullivan and a guy on the MLW network. It was Kevin Sullivan and Matt St. Laurent would do a podcast. That was always fun to listen to, and they haven't done that in years. So I don't know what caused that to go away, or who stopped, or who. But it was it was just nice to hear Kevin again, tell some stories. And the other good thing about some of the guys that got let go this week is maybe we can have Talking Shop back. From what I heard, it was coming back anyway. Yeah. And now I'll just fast track that, and I'll get to bear more tales of Luke and Carl and Chad Too Bad and sex.
I'm very excited about those guys. Anybody, especially tag teams, as we've well documented in the history of the show, man. Anytime a tag team gets released from WWE, I'm happy, because no matter where they go, they're going to be better off. And yes, that includes Impact. No matter where they go, they're going to wind up in a better spot. The one that I'm really hoping for, and it's not to see this happen, because I think all of us believe this is going to happen, but I am hoping that the Revival will approach AEW with I'm hoping that they'll go the Dean Ambrose avenue of like, here's what's going to happen, because we're going to work for you, but we're going to work these. And I'm hoping that what I'm hoping they'll do is they'll hold their feet to the fire and basically have them have independent contracts in America as well. Because I would let you know, my number one thing in this whole wide world, if I could see anything, it would be the Briscoes and the Revival to wrestle for the NWA titles. I would love that. I wish that's what they would do. And I know that even Dean doesn't get to wrestle in America for anybody else because, once again, Tony Khan has watched way too much Vince McMahon stuff, and it's like, okay. But I'm hoping the Revival will actually put their feet in the fire on this. And the reason I think they can get away with it is, in my opinion, what's going to happen with the Revival is this. Either AEW is going to give them the contract they want, or they're going to walk out the door. They're going to go to the NWA, and they're going to go to New Japan or Ring of Honor or any other combination of the two, or maybe even all three. And then 6 months from now, AEW is going to give them the contract they should have given them 6 months before, and there's going to be a whole lot more numbers between the dollar and the decimal. Yeah, that's what I think, because everybody knows Revival's a big deal. So if you're going to try and go cheap on these guys, I think that the Revival are in a really good position as far as leverage is concerned. And the idea of just blowing the thing open and being like, we're going to work wherever we want to, whenever we want to, do it. Someone has to do that. Someone's got to do it, because it's bad enough that Vince has run his business that way forever. But now finally you have a competitor and they're going to do it the same way. Get out of here, man. You guys are morons, man.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do what y'all should have been doing this whole time.
It's the truth, man. Either they're independent contractors or they're employees, one way or the other. They either get to go work other places, or you get to pick up their health insurance. Simple. Pick one. That's where I'm hoping we're going to wind up. And if you watched the show for a long time, you've heard me whining about that for a long time. But that's what I thought. That's what AEW should have done from day one. I think that, like we've talked about, man, just a combination of lots of things, man. I think that the NWA and NXT have it right as far as television tapings. I think that AEW had the opportunity pick you a spot, get you a television studio, and stay there. Have people come to you, man. It just makes me mad because half the roster used to work at PWG. And the reason PWG is a big deal is because they took that ECW edict. And I don't mean the style. What I mean is the ECW arena was cool. You wanted to go there. You wanted to be a part of that. Everybody that was an outsider wanted to be on the inside of the ECW club. That's exactly what Pro Wrestling Guerrilla have done too. AEW could have done that on a national stage, but no, we want to do like Raw and be in the basketball. Y'all are stupid. I just think that I'm still mad about it, obviously, because that was such a wasted opportunity, especially now, because God knows if you had this one space in the state of Florida, no doubt, where your business is located and WWE's become essential, you wouldn't have to worry about bulk taping a month at a time, would you? I mean, I would still do it because you don't want people traveling around, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, there's no way you could have seen this coming, but you'd be a lot better off now if you weren't trying to be Vince Jr.
That was the one part of the Ronda Rousey sitting down with Steve-O interview that it didn't make her sound dumb.
Hard-hitting interviewer Steve-O.
Yes, absolutely. That's where everybody goes for this. That real talk.
That's right, man. He is the tip of the journalistic spear, Steve-O.
It was just that part of the interview where she just kind of showed that she didn't really know how things went there when she's like talking with him, and he was just trying to compare like how was it in WWE versus UFC versus the Olympics, and she got into saying, I think they're employees and not independent contractors, and of all people, without missing a beat, Steve-O did say, I think they're independent contractors. And she was like, yeah, but they're people are treated so well there, and they're treated like employees. Like you were treated like an employee.
Exactly.
And you had
a contract. You were an employee, because that's the whole point now. That's the whole thing with like, well, WWE, they've released some people and they furloughed some people. Well, what's the difference? What does that mean? Well, what it means is this. If you got furloughed, it's because you were an employee, as in this contract you signed was for 4 years. And if I break it, you take me to court and you'll win. So you're furloughed. That's exactly what it means. That's exactly what happened with Ronda too. You signed a contract that actually meant something. Yeah, you're totally right. You were an employee.
Yeah, and them being treated well. That's everybody acts right in front of company. And when you were like, everybody was trying to please, yeah, you're going to see the best side of everybody that is an employee or not. And you're going to hear nothing but the good. So you're not getting the full experience.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
a special attraction. No, it's different. It's totally different, man. For example, if you sign Mike Tyson to a 5-year contract, you gonna break that? I bet you wouldn't. I know I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like that is interesting though, because yeah, I'm sure that I'm sure the situation was very different. That's my whole thing with the Rhonda thing to begin with, though, man, is all of this corny losing his mind over, man, she's ungrateful and la-di-da, and she never sold out the Charlotte Coliseum on such and such date and all that stuff, and la-di-da is like, she's in a different stratosphere of cash than you are, man. This is an outside Hollywood special attraction who was brought in on whatever money she was making. Of course, she doesn't have the road wariness and the understanding of the business and like she doesn't, and she's not gonna, because it's like she's special because you need her.
Yeah.
For what Vince likes, for that crap that he's into, hey man, it don't matter. The most dedicated and ardent pro wrestler ain't gonna be nothing to him if Ronda Rousey is the other option, because people know her name.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it's true.
Yeah. That's just the one part of the interview. It's like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, seriously, man. Oh goodness. But as far as Steve-O educating her, that's good. And boy, she certainly found out this week, because that's the whole point with everybody getting hacked, is like, well, what happens? That's contracts. Nothing. They're ash, just like they always were. That's, again, that independent contractor thing for Vince. It protects him. You can't go anywhere till I say so, but I can get you gone whenever I say so as well. That's totally what that junk is.
Yep. That's the long and short of it.
Uh-huh.
Change the rules in the middle of the game.
Oh, totally. That's what right to work laws are. But it's so funny that they're called that. But it's like, yeah, do a little research, buddy. You'll find out exactly what that means. It means if I signed you to a contract, I own you right up till I don't want to. Yeah. That's what that means.
We're gonna add time to this contract just to screw with you.
Yeah, seriously. Because I can. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. But that being the case, I'm very happy. Going back to that subject from a moment ago, I'm really glad that the Revival are out. That's going to be awesome. And wherever they go, I'm going to be pleased. But I would love it if they would. I hope they're in the position I think they're in, and I hope that I would just like it if they use that leverage, because they got it. They got it. They've got to be top of that wish list as far as. If people keep talking about Eric Rowan, like, well, they could bring him in, he could be in the Dark Order, put him and Luke back together. Why? They just did that in WWE forever. I don't need a Bludgeon Brothers reunion. And also, did you not listen to the podcast with Rowan? I'm sorry, not Rowan. I'm sorry. Luke Harper and Jericho. Doesn't sound to me like it was something that Luke would want to do again. They're not buds. They don't really get along, man. So, I don't know, man. I could see them bringing Eric Rowan in just because of how big he is. But keep those guys as far apart as possible, man. You never, the whole thing, well, everyone will know. Yeah, everyone will know. But ask Vince how that not acknowledging any other company goes. He's only done it for 60 years.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It's like, man, you're already trying to not be Raw light.
That goes back to my original point, which drives me crazy about the arenas, man, is it's like you're literally doing what they do. That sucks. You're doing what they do. Your two champions have been former guys that worked there. And again, if they're going the path that I think they're going, I do understand that, man, because you needed it to be Jericho to get the TV contract. You needed it to be that other WWE guy, which Jericho got him the extension too. But that's something people keep talking about. AEW, man, it's really, it's got that, it's just not feeling the same. It's different. It's because Dean Ambrose is your champ and Dean Ambrose is trash. That's why it doesn't feel good, because your guy that's your champion sucks. He is a third-rate Stone Cold knockoff. That's the problem. And it's like, it's all good. We'll get there eventually, and it's going to be good. And if you give the belt to Kenny and Sputter, then you've got a problem. But right now you don't, because the contract extension was all you wanted. They got it real early, so good for them, man. It's cool.
Yep. I think Rusev would probably be another one that would be served well to go to NWA.
I would love it if Rusev went to the NWA. I would love it if Rusev just again, I'm hoping that guys like Rusev and the Revival will realize the position they're in to negotiate, because they don't have to just take any old thing.
Yeah.
It'll be
So,
good.
he's one I forgot a few minutes ago, talking about guys that would be top of my list. I mean, and when I was doing that, I was thinking like, who would be good NWA style?
Rusev would be great. I agree totally. This was something that was brought up, and I thought it was quite interesting. But what about him and Aiden, man? Would you consider bringing those guys in together and doing that again? And I know I just tripped
was
on
awesome.
them. I know I just tripped on them doing Bludgeon Brothers Bludgeon Brothers 2.0 / Wyatt Family 3.0. But that was a shtick and a gimmick that WWE never got over. I mean, they went out there and made a crap ton of money on the T-shirts and just let it die. And I'm like, that would not be the worst thing ever. But I don't know if Aiden wants to wrestle anymore. So hey, man, bring him in as a mouthpiece. Why not? It'd be great.
Do that.
It'd be great, man.
That's if you're gonna do something that they weren't necessarily a tag team.
Yeah.
But they did go well together. So man, let's do that.
Yeah, if we're going to do something, if we're hiring guys that used to be WWE and I want them to do the same thing they did in WWE, I would do those two guys before I would hire Rowan and basically kneecap. I keep forgetting Brody Lee. I keep forgetting his name now, which sucks. I still call Ambrose all the time too, and it's like, man, I got to start doing better on that.
No, that's good.
Excuse me.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah, man. So Rusev is. I'm glad Rusev is free. It'll be cool. But that's a good point about the NWA style, man. Just have him go in there and just tank everybody. That would be cool, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping that happens.
Yeah, that would be awesome. They should have him show up and beat. Why do I constantly forget his name? Aaron, Damian Sandow. I'll remember it. But just have him go in and truck him for the U.S. title, and he'll be good to go, man.
Oh heck yeah,
that'd be cool, man.
That'd work. Man, that's definitely what I would do. As far as top of the list of the people that got let go and stuff like that. Just go work everywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm really hoping that they'll do that. I just think that would be awesome, because I think they can get that negotiation. I'm not saying they're a bigger deal than Moxley, but I'm saying they're in a different position than he was in. Mm-hmm. So you can make this happen. I'll tell you, just going by each company, if I'm Impact, of course, Spud and EC3 are the first guys that I'm looking at, just because they've got good history with me, and you like them, so nothing wrong with that. Excuse me. If I'm AEW, the Revival, that was before, and everybody knows that they're after them. Mm-hmm. The one that I think I might be the hottest after is freaking Sarah Logan, man, because that women's division needs help bad, real bad. And it's not like she's been Deanna Purrazzo is the other one. That would actually she should probably be the first one, because she's got more experience, and that would be great. But it's selfish, and I'm being jerky and playing the relationship game, but I'm hiring Sarah Logan because I want to flesh out my women's division. 2, I think she's really quite good. And 3, hey man, War Machine's contract's not going to last forever. And if you want to have the best tag division in the whole wide world, about the only teams you're missing now are War Machine and the Briscoes. That's it. You got everybody else. So I'm like, bring it on, man. Let's go.
that would be awesome.
For real. Red Dragon. They don't have Red Dragon. I apologize. I said it wrong. By the way, the last NXT show where I don't remember who Bro's tag partner was, because I just don't know the guy's name. But it's fascinating that it's Bobby and Roderick, because Bobby and Kyle are amazing. But it really is cool how interchangeable. They really do have that horseman thing going on, where it can be any combination of 2, 3, 4. It can be anything. Like, golly, this is
it all works.
Yes, it's like, this is just awesome, man. Those guys can just do whatever they want to, and I'm cloud nining. I love it. It's like, man, this is cool.
That's why I like them so much.
Oh my God, you ain't man. Those cats are too good. And it's neat too, man, because I remember Adam Cole, first time I ever saw him, I'm like, $1 million, that's the guy. And not just that. Adam Cole, I think, could successfully work anywhere. This is gonna sound stupid, but as egotistical as this sounds, man, I'm only ever gonna live as myself. So it's about what's appealing to me. Vince McMahon has proven he can make money with anybody. I despise John Cena. I've never seen a John Cena segment / action figure / match / anything that did anything for me. He's not my guy. He's never been my guy. And he's insanely successful. So Vince knows things that I don't know. But if I see somebody that I think Vince McMahon could put in a situation that I would enjoy them, that's a big deal, because I'm just not typically a fan of anything Vince does. But it's like, this guy's made for WWE. So it's cool that Adam got up there. So you had Adam, you had Roddy, and you had Red Dragon, and they were all great, and it was fun to watch all of them, and it's just cool. So then you bring them all into NXT and make them a faction. Like, well, this is 4 guys I really like. But totally to your point, man, for that style, it's like, this is working. This is really, really cool, and I'm excited that it's working out for all of them. Because just, Vince can ruin a lot of stuff. Even Vince can't mess up Adam Cole, man. It's like, this guy is made for this stuff. It's got to be good. They'd like each other, so it's cool.
Yeah, and I heard some people that were talking about how, like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling the Velveteen Dream anymore. Like, I don't know what promo y'all saw. I thought it was awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Velveteen Dream feels to me like that thing that you and I talk about, where there are people that literally wait for Twitter to tell them what to think. Simple. That's all it is, man. It's like, Velveteen Dream. It's like, it's the same thing it's always been. You got into it because it was the hot shit thing on Twitter, and now you don't like it because there's 4 people on Twitter that don't like it. Think for yourself, prick. Velveteen's the man. I'm sorry, what's up, bro?
I liked it because I liked it, no one else did. It's not cool anymore.
It's interesting. That's more fuel for the fire. That's been my thing with Corny lately. It's like, that really is his problem with modern wrestling, isn't it? Is that he liked the curtain, the division. He liked stupid fans that he could make fun of when they weren't in earshot anymore, because just a bunch of stupid marks. I'd never thought about it before, but that is his problem with modern wrestling, is that people like myself saw both sides of it. It was a complete mark when I was a little kid, and still am. Never been in the business, never drew a dime, never been to Greensboro Coliseum, all that stuff, man. And I'm totally okay with it. But I think expecting people younger than us that have always known that it's a work, you telling me that you expect them to, like, be the butt of your joke and give you money for it, that seems very unrealistic to me. There's a lot of us that realized we were the butt of the joke, and it's like, you know what, I love this anyway, it's fine. A lot of people realized they were the butt of the joke and never came back. But going forward, once that cat's out of the bag, you can't ask people, yeah, man, and we're going to rib you, and it's going to be funny, and ha-ha, tee-hee, ho-ho, because we're the cool kids, and you're the dork, so keep paying us to make fun of you. That's what Cordy wants, and it's like, you can't do that now. You can't do that now.
It's not gonna flow.
It's not. It's the thing he complains about all the time with all the Bullet Club guys is, oh, the fans, they treat the fans like they're in the club, like they're one of the boys, and la-di-da. And it's like, and those guys are blindingly wealthy because of it, because they understand, for modern wrestling fans, that's what you have to do. That's what catering to the fan is patting them on their little butt and making them feel special, like they know something, because, what was it? It was they were killing Lawler for whatever it was he said about the moonsault thing. But I thought Brian last point where, the joke he was trying to make is that everybody speaks Spanish now because everyone throws the lucha name out for all the lucha moves. And I didn't hear the call because, as you know, I like to watch wrestling. I don't know who's good at commentary or not because I don't listen to any of them. I put on music and I watch people move around. It's why the lack of crowds don't bother me a bit.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a good point. Like, yeah, man, it's all like everybody's got some fancy, the international name for all the moves. So it's like, okay, maybe that's what he was going for. Yeah. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Sorry about that mess. But Riddle, and I can't remember the guy's name, and for Pete's sake, Bobby and Roddy was awesome. Yeah. I know you're not surprised. I know you know. Because dude, Adam Cole sitting out by his pool with his belt over his shoulder, just cutting his little quarantine promos is better than anything. It's like, this guy is just, he is cash money, man. He's so good.
But speaking of one more rumor, I guess I got to see what you think about.
Oh, yeah.
Is have you heard the...
Hey, have you heard the news? Jimmy Cole's died. Sorry, man.
supposed rumors about Money in the Bank. Where
yes, it is hilarious. Like, so the answer, my take on the rumor of Money in the Bank is this. So for those of you that had one whole pay-per-view in the, how long will it take before Vince takes this movie idea and ruins it? If you had one pay-per-view, you won.
Yeah.
It's just the stupidest thing ever, man. So like, haven't we already seen Big Show fall off of a building because are there going to be monster trucks up there? Are we doing that again? It's like, God, this is so stupid.
It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, it's such good. Oh, man, that is just horrifyingly bad.
It's going to be the Super Bowl attitude commercial and the Ultimate Warrior going through the offices video game commercial from a few years ago. I'll roll it on and we're going to have it on a pole.
It's so bad, man. It's like, oh, I think it was Ollie on Wrestle Talk was talking about it. It was something like, the WWE's plans to turn Money in the Bank into Die Hard. And that's a statement I didn't know how bad I wanted to say till I got to say it. And I'm like, that's awesome, man. And I like how excited he got about it, man.
It's horrifying, but at the same time, like I'm not going to be able to look away.
Strangest thing, because that's kind of where I was too. Like, hearing the details, I'm like, this is so stupid and god awful. But because of the extenuating circumstances and the fact that doing movies and edited wrestling matches is now okay, hey man, some of them are going to stick and some of them aren't. Have fun. It might be great.
Who knows?
Yeah. Are we going to see more matches like this that you and I thought? Of course you are. This is a great, and it's, again, we were talking about, because I trash Vince all the time because he does a lot of things that make me furious. But this ain't one of them. The innovation and the idea of like, hey, we need new stuff. It's not bad. It's like, hey, why not? If whoever deserves credit for this, fine. Like I said, they're not all going to be winners.
Yeah. The only way we can give Vince credit for it is it's happening on his show. I don't think he has a clue what's going on.
He hired the right people to make the best of a bad situation. Unfortunately, I can't believe they got rid of the Mandy and Otis and Ziggler rider, just because like I missed all of that because we talked about it, but I know neither one of us watched the weeklies. It's just not what we do. Yeah. But I heard more talk, and this is before Mania. People really got into that. They were like, dude, it's just a love triangle. They do this all the time, but apparently they really knocked this thing out the park. People just loved it. And then I think it was 2 days ago or whenever they got rid of her too. And I'm like, well, dang, man, this is what y'all want, is this soap opera crap that people get into, and you got it, and you fired the writer.
Oh, I didn't know she was on the list. My bad.
It was a mistake. Clearly, a mistake's been made.
How
about that XFL? They brought in Rob Gronkowski to get him to sign an XFL contract. Hell, the XFL's out of business. Thanks, Gronk.
Oh, Jesus. That's
right. Rob Gronkowski signs his XFL contract. I'm going to sink this bitch.
When you saw the list of guys let go, that was one of the things that went across my mind too. It's like, oh man, Mojo reminded him of his friend at just the right time.
You're right. Seriously, man. Hey, you can't get rid of me because wrong.
My buddy.
Somebody made a great point one time. I don't have the visual right now, man, but just, go to Google and type it in. Somebody at one time pointed out how much Rob Gronkowski looks like the bad guy from Encino Man. And it's totally worth looking up a little side by side of that because it's hilarious, man.
It's pretty dead on.
Yeah, I agree.
Shush.
Hush, please. Shush.
That's the line that sticks with me from that movie. It's like, murder anybody that said that.
That's the picture that they used. I'm so happy to say is that it's the one of whenever Samwise Gamgee is checking out. Oh shoot! I used to know that actress's name, man. But anyway, the girl that he's into, and so he's looking at her, and then dude is just like. It's that picture they used to illustrate how much he looks like Gronkowski, man. It's awesome.
brother.
More like innovation as far as like, yeah, man, we're on quarantine, so we can do camera tricks. we can do mountain reenacted Cino, man. Man, I gotta watch that movie now.
Heck yeah, man. Go see what that's streaming on.
Yeah, seriously.
Man, that's what's up.
Absolutely, man. It's good talking with the man, brother.
Heck
Y'all
yeah,
have a good
man.
one. Thank you for watching.
Awesome. See y'all.